The reason for people adopting last names is pretty obvious. If you have two people with the same name, how do you tell them apart? But when did we first start doing it? The first culture to begin requiring last names was China in 2852 BCE. Surnames were added so that the various dynasties could keep an accurate census count. Europe didn't begin adopting last names until the Middle Ages. People living in small villages didn't need surnames. But as those villages grew and people began moving to larger towns to barter and trade goods, they needed ways to distinguish themselves. It was also during the Middle Ages that wives adopted the surnames of their husbands and children their fathers. These surnames can be broken down into 4 types. Patronymic last names identify the bearer's parentage. For example, in the Nobel Prize-winning novel Kristin Lavransdatter, Kristin is the daughter of Lavrans. English does this too. Think Johnson, Richardson, or Thompson. Locative surnames are linked to where people were born or lived. This can be as generic as Thomas Lake to something as specific as Sir Walter Raleigh. In fact, more than half of all English surnames today come from places that people lived. Occupational names are next and are based on what a person did. Everything from knight to baker to smith to shoemaker reflected a person's job. Lastly, nicknames often find a way to surname permanence. Everything from Lawless and Merriweather to Goodyear and Longfellow. Many of these last names came to the United States along with European colonists, but slaves had to choose their own, frequently the name of their former enslavers. In Japan, only the aristocracy had surnames until the government made it mandatory for everyone in 1868. Turkey didn't require them until 1934. And some countries, like Iceland and Tibet, still don't require them. Stay curious, my friends.